right, welcome back to the Dirt Kickers podcast. I'm Jace Thompson. This is
Caleb Crabtree. Today we're going to be kicking the dirt on Big Ag Consolidation.
Ooh boy. All right, so Big Ag Consolidation. What does that mean? What does it look like? And who is Big Ag?
Big Ag is the devil. No, I'm just kidding. Big Ag is decades and decades of consolidation that has now wrapped up into, really 3 companies, and then and really more like 2.
Yeah.
But you had small independent seed companies, and you had a lot of them.
Right.
And now eventually it's worked its way into, like I said, mainly just 2.
Right. Yeah, so it's not secret. Pioneer used to be one of those small independent companies. DeKalb was out of DeKalb, Illinois.
Yeah.
That was a small independent
Maybe that's why
company.
it was named that way.
It was probably named DeKalb for the town. There was Garst. There was a ton to...
NK, Golden Harvest.
All started out...
Funks. There's a bunch of them.
All started out as independent seed companies, and then you had chemical conglomerates come in, and they bought up the seed companies because chemical is worthless without
the seed. It's almost like you have to have something to spray.
Yeah.
Maybe it starts with the seed.
So they decided that they could bring in the seed companies, they buy them out, and then they would tailor those genetics to their...
And attach traits to those genetics.
Yep.
They literally call them the chassis.
Yep.
For their trait. It's a big money-making scheme.
So in the industry, seed corn market is controlled 90%.
Well,
Whenever you factor in licensing of genetics and internal.
The big 2 or the big 3?
I'm talking about the big 2.
The big 2, you're somewhere in 90-ish %.
Yeah, and then you get the other one in there that's coming out of China. And they are probably probably coming in at 4 or 5%.
Yeah, maybe with
6.
with the licensing side, you're talking 6.
So outside of 3 companies, you have 4% of the genetics that are out there that are coming from independent breeders.
Yeah, or from another country.
Yeah, because there's a player.
Some of those too. Yeah,
there's a couple players in that avenue as well, and then. Hold on. All right, so since the 1980s, that's whenever consolidation first started, and that was kind of went into 4 companies. We can probably say their names.
Is that okay, executive producer?
It's public knowledge.
Okay.
That they came out.
Let's just name them.
Consolidated. So you're talking Bayer, Corteva, and ChemChina.
Yes.
Otherwise known as Syngenta.
Yeah.
Which is Brazilian for without people.
Portuguese,
yeah. Not Brazilian.
Brazilians speak Portuguese, but yeah.
Corteva bought up Dow, DuPont.
Bayer. That was... we're going to use the word merger loosely there between Dow and DuPont, like you said.
Dow and DuPont, and
DuPont was Pioneer,
and Bayer bought out Monsanto, who had bought out DeKalb, Holdens.
Yep, Asgrow.
Yep,
a whole long list of them.
And then you've got ChemChina, who bought out Syngenta, who had bought Garst, who had bought Golden Harvest.
Another long list.
And so the consolidation continues, even to this day, where they're cutting out their regional brands. And now you're looking at 2 options for a brand in Corteva. You got Pioneer or Brevant for the most part. There's still some of those bags floating around.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bayer, you're looking at DeKalb and Channel.
Yep.
And Syngenta, you're looking at
Golden Harvest and NK.
Yep. So very, very methodical for all 3 companies to be doing something very similar, running the same path.
Yeah. Well, it's a playbook. Wipe out all your competition your main competition by buying them up, consolidate them together, and then you start to raise prices. That's
So you
that's a playbook that they're all following.
well you run the supply and the demand.
Yeah.
Whenever you're controlling 96% of a market.
Yeah.
And consolidation not only means that you're controlling demand and that there's fewer options, but or higher priced options, but there's fewer options.
Yeah. With fewer options, you can price them higher.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then you used to see a lot of public breeding. You used to see university breeding.
Universities, yeah.
And that is
the
now
USDA.
that's declined to now a handful of people.
Yeah. I mean,
Texas
and
A&M,
Texas A&M.
University of Florida had a
A
little,
little bit.
but we
University
saw-
of Wisconsin.
University of Wisconsin.
Illinois.
Right.
Who am I missing?
There's somebody out there, and we'll hear about it, I'm sure.
Comment below.
So, limited choices. These retail brands are also licensing out germplasm from their parent companies like Bayer, Corteva, or Syngenta.
Yeah.
So you can also get similar type options
Yeah.
from people that are licensing in germplasm
Correct.
from those three. But what happens whenever you consolidate your germplasm down to where your breeding program
Get
is
genetically narrow.
and what is expound upon genetic narrowness?
Yeah. So, I have this when I think about genetic narrowness, I have this picture in my mind of the kids playing soccer. And if you've ever seen a kids soccer match, you know what I'm talking about. They all follow the shiny ball, right? I follow the ball, so I've got this new hot inbred that comes out. Okay, I follow it, and I that's the next generation, and that's all we've got is that shiny new ball, and we follow that. That's genetic narrowness.
Yep. With genetic narrowness, we're seeing the fruits of that labor. We saw it in the 90s on
GLS.
On GLS came in and
With
wiped
Pioneer.
out Pioneer, and now we're seeing that genetic narrowness on tar spot with Bayer.
With Bayer, yep.
There's a distinct reason as to why most hybrids that are in the DeKalb channel lineup don't have a whole lot of tar spot tolerance.
Yeah, and if you just use their fungicide, it'll be okay.
It will be fine.
It'll be fine. You just got to go over your 3, 4, 5 passes now.
We heard 4 passes from
Yeah.
one person, 3 for sure.
We just buy our corn for $400 a bag and go over it with our really expensive fungicide 4 or 5 times.
Yeah,
That's all you got to do.
no big deal.
Maximum yields.
And
It'll be great.
the person that we talked to about that did note that they still lost 20 bushels to the acre
Nah,
with 4 passes of fungicide.
just buy more of our product. It'll be okay.
So germplasm, just to clarify, germplasm is genetic material in seeds. That is what that is your breeding new seeds.
That is what we do.
And keeping our genetics in the unbranded lineup, we're keeping them wide. And
That's the goal.
for genetic diversity.
Yep.
And that's important for resilience, disease tolerance,
Yeah.
and to not get narrow focused on that shiny ball.
Yeah. Which you got to follow the shiny ball a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
But you can bring some other things in, and you can play with some other stuff, and yeah. And from what we've seen, a lot of the times, the shiny new ball, it's. I'm gonna make a reference to LeBron James here. Okay. If you're listening, Bronny, I'm so sorry, but you're just not as good as your dad. Okay. LeBron James is the king, right? He's one of the best at all time. You got the Michael Jordan and LeBron debate. We're not going to get into that, but he's one of the best of all time, and his offspring is not as good as him at basketball, and you see that a lot in breeding. So
Sometimes the progeny is not.
The progeny is not as good. There's something called breeding value, and it doesn't always come from the shiny new ball.
Yep.
Just throwing that out there.
So the Consolidation. It got concentrated down to 90% plus between 2 or 3 companies. Intellectual property. So you get into IP, intellectual property, and what that has done from the consolidation.
Yeah, so we talked about the off-patent hybrids in one of the previous episodes. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Obviously, but that's at one point was their intellectual property, those patented seeds,
right?
And they protect that, and they spend a lot of money in R&D, so they should be able to protect that. There's some debate around that.
I believe Elon Musk differs his opinion on patents,
if I spent billions and billions of dollars developing something, I would want some protection around it too.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that. It's a hot topic.
Well, the hot topic on it is that, I mean, like you said, I agree. They should be able to protect it. They did spend a lot of money doing it, and anybody that has done that should be able to have some sort of protection.
Well, it's one of the reasons that makes America great.
Right.
Innovation, continued innovation, but some of the level of protection that they get may be extreme.
And that's where I wanted to go next.
Yes,
was because some of that patent and the IP that they on their IP is convoluted at best and hidden at worst.
Yeah, if I patent something, I have to disclose what it is.
Right.
And we've gotten to the point now where we're not really disclosing what some of these patents are.
Right.
So
and the reason why, and somebody may think, well, why is that a big deal? But the reason why it's a big deal is because the patents are there to help continue innovation from other people that have other ideas of what to do.
Right. If they disclose what the parents are of this new inbred line, maybe those parents are off patent. Maybe somebody else could try to innovate that idea.
Right.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Right.
If I can beat you at your own game, that should be allowed, right? Isn't that kind of the whole idea?
That's the point of innovation.
Okay.
And so your original idea is protected with the patent, and it gives somebody the opportunity to come up with a new original idea.
Yeah.
And that's what it was designed for. That's not exactly how it's being used.
Exactly.
There's been a USDA investigation into that was released, and it was public a while back, and found that indeed some things are being meddled with inside of the patenting process. So then public breeding programs used to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And a lot of things used to come out of that. And that was
one of the most useful inbreds with that. We talk about breeding value. B73, that came from the Iowa State University.
Right.
Iowa State actually had several things that were very valuable that as public, now it's accessible to everybody in the market, and who can innovate off of B73 the best.
Right.
Well, they get the business. That's capitalism.
That is capitalism. So less diversity puts us at risk. Crop failures, disease tolerance going down.
Yep.
And we're working to keep wide genetic variance in order to keep this whole thing, the whole idea of having variety. Variety is the spice of life. So we're living by that motto.
We got spicy corn.
So just a couple of we talked about public breeding programs, the kind of downfall of them now. Nobody's really focusing in on those at the universities anymore, but there are a few. So we wanted to talk about a couple of those.
Mm-hmm.
There is Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's Dr. Seth Murray at Texas A&M. If that's still going on, I think it is.
And if we're wrong on any of this,
let us know.
Comment below.
North Carolina State University.
North Carolina State. Yep.
North Carolina State. Dr. James Holland. Still working on disease resistance and genetic diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Natalia
De Leon. Yeah.
Of the Lion is University of Wisconsin-Madison. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's Wisconsin. You're going to be looking at silage.
Yeah, silage.
That is the dairy capital of
early season genetics.
Yep.
I mean,
then you've got the University of Missouri. Did the University of Missouri come up with Mo 17s?
I think so. Yeah.
So there was Mo 17s, also
17.
breeding value, tons of breeding value there.
Yep.
It was Dr. Sherry Flint Garcia, and then was it Dr. James Holland that was retired, or is that Dr. Matthew Krakowski?
No, Matthew Krakowski is not retired.
So okay. Either way, those are.
I think you got them all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then Dr. Matthew Krakowski is also at the North Carolina State University. And
a little shout out to the USDA with what is called the GEM program, Genetic Enhancement of Maize.
Yep.
They're also a big proponent of genetic diversity and bringing that into the market. And they do an excellent job with that.
Yep. And then we also did touch on University of Florida. They do some breeding as well.
Mm-hmm.
They are breeding corn, specifically sweet corn. We also did see some field corn that they had as well.
Yeah, and I think it was more geared for silage specific.
Yep.
But if there's anybody we missed,
let us know in the comments.
Comment below.
We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah.
So Consolidation has actually created a space for companies like UnBranded because they have consolidated and raised prices so much. Farmers are looking for a different option. They want something that competes. They want something that's cheaper, and we just so happen to be able to do that.
UnBrandedSeed.com.
There you go. Shameless plug. We do focus in on diversity of our germplasm.
Mm-hmm.
We want that wide diversity, but what is that going to mean whenever you buy our hybrids and then you plant them? Are they all going to look the same?
They're all going to be mega yield. They're not going to look like anything that you really see in the market.
Right.
If you know what you're looking for, you can pretty much identify Bayer genetics in the field. You will drive by a field, and we'll do this when we're looking at yield trials.
Yield trials, yeah.
That's Bayer genetics. Oh, that's Pioneer genetics.
Yep.
You can identify them because they all have a similar look. Because they're chasing the shiny ball, whatever that look was from the shiny ball, the inbred line that they were chasing. Now everything's derived from that line, and it all looks like it.
Yep.
Even the next generation. Those are the traits they're looking for. That gives them that look.
That's what they selected for.
And what we're doing is we're looking for performance first through diversity, and that means we're gonna look a little wild at times.
We're going to look different.
We're going to be different.
One
We're
hybrid,
a bit unique.
Yeah, one hybrid and UnBranded is probably not going to look like the next.
Right.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
Whenever you have all those hybrids, they're readily identifiable in the field from the truck.
Yeah.
While driving by.
Yeah.
That means you have consolidated your own genetic diversity down.
I like the use of consolidated.
I brought it in. It was a callback. Little callback to the whole topic here. So anyway, back to what we were talking about and bringing in UnBranded, the consolidation in the corn industry and what it has done for us and then other independent breeding programs and independent corn companies is they have opened up an avenue for us to come in and
a market inefficiency is opened up for us.
Yes.
And when we talk about, I guess it's important for us to explain why genetic diversity is important.
Yeah.
And we kind of touched on it a little bit. But if you get genetically narrow, like some of these companies are, and then you have a problem that you can't foresee at that time, and then you have that problem, like tar spot, and it comes in, and your genetics have no tolerance to it.
Yep.
It just wipes them out.
Yep.
That's why genetic diversity is important, because now you have, if you're diverse, you can go back and say, well, this base of genetics is working really well on tar spot, and we can attack the problem with this base of genetics, and so on.
Right. And if you're genetically narrow, you're at the very best 7 years out.
if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Because if that's not in your genetic base,
Right.
and the next generation most likely won't have it either.
Right.
You'd have to get lucky.
You'd have to get lucky. Yep. Or have to go back generations.
Many generations, and now all that genetic gain that we've talked about before is wiped out.
Which that goes back to our previous conversation on off-patent genetics, and that they're not up to snuff with today's climate, which means if you're a breeding company and you have to go back 2 generations, 3 generations to find your tar spot tolerance, GLS tolerance, whatever, that means you're back to the off patents that other companies are already selling, and you have to start breeding forward with that.
And if I'm charging the prices that some of these companies are charging, those two things do not compute.
Right. They do not compute. So we're trying to fill a gap that the consolidation has opened up and bring competition back into a market where there really isn't a whole lot of competition to be had. Competition seems to be manufactured through. There are a lot of other seed corn companies.
Yeah.
However, those genetic bases tie back to the main 2 or 3 companies that control the rest of the market. So
and on this topic, to be fair, there are quite a few independent companies that are doing their own breeding.
There are,
and you should support them too.
Absolutely.
Support us, support them. There's enough market share for us to go around.
There's plenty of market share for everybody to have.
And we've seen some of their genetics.
They're
very good. They are very good.
Yep.
So you should support them too. So.
Yep. And that's probably another thing to touch on, is that at the independent breeding world, we all pretty much talk.
Yeah.
And
it's a very small
world. There's not that many of us. So today we talked about consolidation, the problems, genetic narrowing, and then we'll come back for the next round of episodes, and we will talk about many more things and come up with some good topics for everybody. So
UnBrandedSeed.com.
We thank you for listening to the Dirt Kicker podcast. I'm Jace Thompson. It's Caleb Crabtree. UnBrandedSeed.com. Call me, book a consultation. We'll talk to you later.